All right, so if you're gonna take the shocks off without taking the wheel off, you just have to get it off the ground. So make sure you have it jacked up high enough. Tools you're gonna need are a pair of 18mm, a pair of 16mm or 5/8, of course your new shock, and then your make sure it comes with this kit of new rubber pieces and hardware. For the passenger side, you're also gonna need a 10mm socket or wrench, and either a trim tool or a flathead screwdriver. If you're here on the passenger side, you have to be able to fit a wrench up into this gap, which is pretty small. You don't have to deal with that on the driver's side, you can fit one up there. But for here, I'm gonna take out the wheel well plastic in here to make it a little bit easier accessible to get in through here. To do that, loosen this 10mm nut right here. Also take the plastic out of this clip on the inside of the fender. Then go around on the inside of the wheel well with a trim tool or a flathead screwdriver. Stick it up under these tabs and pull each of them out. Alright, now once you have all of them out, you can pull it down just so you can have access to the top of the shock right here. You do not need to pull out each of these tabs along the fender because we can leave this mostly in place. Now from here, get your 16mm and hold the bolt at the top still while you fit your other one onto the actual shock and loosen it out of place. This is the hardest part, it probably takes the longest. Alright, once you start getting it loose up here, we can actually go down to the bottom and loosen that one, take it out first. Alright, this is our bottom bolt down here. You need two 18mm to break this loose, and we're just gonna go ahead and take this one out. Alright, so now to get this bolt out here, the best way is probably going to actually be to jack up right here on the axle. I'm going to use a little bit of a different method though, just because I don't want to wheel the jack all the way around. And now it's kind of stuck here, so I'm just going to lift the wheel by hand to get this axle up a little bit. And that comes right out. And now back up to the top to finish getting this top one out. Alright, and then now the shock's free. Now here's a look at the old shock. Not only is it super easy to push down, I can do it with one hand, but you can see it also doesn't return fully. It's stuck right here like a quarter of the way out. Definitely time for some new ones. I'm going with the Excel G from KYB. This is like a OEM replacement basically. Something with new shocks is that you want to take them and compress them and then let them release a few times before you install them. It's because sometimes when they get shipped, they're stored sideways a lot, and this just kind of resets all the gas and liquid and everything in there. Okay, now we're ready to reinstall. And again, make sure that whenever you order shocks, they come with this hardware or you order it separately. Alright, so the order is the first washer, the lip up, and you got your rubber spacer piece, and that's gonna install to the mount just like this. Next you'll have this other rubber piece with the lip facing down. It'll go over the stem, and then your other washer goes on top, lip down, and then use your nut on top of that, and that's what we're going to tighten down. So first take this rubber piece that's going to go on top, slide that into place, and that'll fit pretty snug in that hole on the upper mount. Next, take your washer and put it on top of that. Now you can take the shock and slide it up to the bottom of the mount, and you want to go ahead and have this upper nut ready to start screwing on some of the threads, because this is a really tight clearance right here on the passenger side. And here's a better look of the top of the shock here. You can see, like I said, there's a really small clearance up there, and I got a couple threads started. All this rubber is going to compress a lot as I'm tightening it, so I'm going to go ahead and get the bottom bolt reinstalled. And these don't quite line up again, so I'm just going to pick up the axle by hand to get it in place. There we go. And if you have a torque wrench, you're going to tighten this one down to 72 foot-pounds. Now from this point, all you have left to do is to tighten that top bolt. If you're going to torque it, if you have a fancy wrench, torque it to 20 foot-pounds, and then reinstall the plastic under the fender, and you're good to go.